Hello and welcome to my overview of Smedley Park for mountain biking. Smedley Park is a nice little gem that can be found right next to the Springfield Mall in Delaware County outside of the Philadelphia area. Basically, by car, there is only one entrance to the park. There is one road that goes through the park. Pretty much everything in this park kind of feeds in and out of this road. And here you can see the trails laid out in this park. And this is a copy of an hour-and-a-half ride I did with a friend of mine about a week ago. I like to think of this park in basically four sections. This is the Deer Line Loop. We have the Pine Ridge Loop. We have Crum Woods. On the right side, we have the Golf Course Ridge. And on the left side, we have the gravel trail. And these basically parallel the road as you go through the park. Okay, let's go to the end of this road and to one of our reference points, the parking lot at the end of this road. We're talking about the Deer Line Loop. One of the keys to the Deer Line Loop is that you really want to do this in a clockwise direction. So you want to start off going across the bridge onto the paved trail into the park, and you go around a second bridge, and then you head off into the trails, and then you're going to come back on this trail that you see off to the right. And we want to talk about one of the highlights of the entire Smedley Park is this Deer Line trail right here, and I'll show you a quick video of what that looks like. Okay, now that you've just done a somewhere from 4 to 6 minute descent on Deer Line, you're ready to climb again. You can climb up to the Golf Course Ridge, again from the parking lot. If you go around the parking lot a bit, you'll see a little bit of an entrance onto a trail. You'll recognize you're on the right path if you start going underneath 476 as you're climbing up. You can see the picture up here on the left. And this is going to be one heck of a climb. Don't be afraid to walk your bike up it if you want to. Golf Course Ridge pretty much parallels the road, except you're riding up on the high side. And there's a couple of nice downhills in there. It's a little flowy, and then there's a little bit more climbing. And the best part of Golf Course Ridge is you get to the features at the very end. Now, you're going to have to get off of the ridge and actually move uphill from it to get to the feature section. Okay, after finishing the Golf Course Ridge Trail, you can go right across the road through the park, over the creek, and into the Pine Ridge Loop. You're going to know that you're at the Pine Ridge Loop because you're going to go through a pedestrian tunnel pictured above. The real key to the Pine Ridge Loop is that you want to go in a counterclockwise direction. And once you get to the top of the hill of the Pine Ridge Loop, you'll be adjacent to Baltimore Pike. And this is probably the flowiest section of the park. Toward the top of it, you'll notice there is also a jump line that you can sort of break off to the left. This is also probably the best loop for beginner riders in the entire park. There's not a ton of climbing, and there's nothing that's incredibly technical about it.
Okay. All right. How you doing? Nice. Ooh.
Last part I want to talk about is on the south side of Smedley. You're going to have to go through a couple of big fields. Just keep following the creek downstream. Once you get into Crum Woods, you're going to see that there's a trail that follows along the creek, and then there's going to be pretty much another trail that parallels that up on the high side of the woods. There's definitely some technical stuff here. There's some rock gardens. There's a couple places you may have to get off and walk your bike. It's still a neat little adventure. I personally don't like to go much further than the regional rail in this park, but other people do like to adventure all the way to the end of the park and then actually on the other side of the creek. So I hope you enjoyed this video. What I gave you was just the highlights of what I think are the better riding trails in the park. Certainly feel free to explore the rest of Crum Woods, the other side of the creek in Crum Woods, and there's also something called the Springfield Loop. I've got a couple of videos linked in the About section below that can give you some information about that stuff. Anyway, happy trails.